Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, sorry. Welcome to today's webinar that will be focused on basically a practical walkthrough of the Send to Amazon process, a little bit more advanced than the general walkthroughs that you may have watched before in prior webinars, but this will be essentially focused on, one, speeding up your FBA inbounding through making sure that your listings are 100% accurate, compliant, properly labeled, and also just helping you get from point A to point B as fast as possible in terms of getting your shipment created as efficiently as possible and getting that appointment or shipment booked successfully through our amazing partner, 2Ship. So that will basically be the essentially what this presentation will be about. And you may be asking, who am I? Who is this guy speaking to you currently over this webinar? I'm Tyler James. I'm a senior FBA operations specialist with a focus specifically on FBA inbounding. So thank you so much for joining me today on this webinar. And yeah, we will just go through some general housekeeping rules while we wait for the rest of our attendees to join. So first and foremost, please drop your questions in the chat at any time where you may just encounter that I will be replying on that message live in front of you. Additionally, this chat is actually moderated as well, meaning that if you drop your question and if I'm not able to get to that question live on our webinar today, one of my amazing moderators will be responding and publishing not only your question, but also the answer to the group chat for everyone else to see. We will be tackling the trending topics first in terms of the questions at the end of our Q&A bit, at the end of this webinar. And yeah, we have practically 60 minutes together today, so we'll go through as much as we can in that time. And also, if you do miss anything, do not worry. A version of this webinar will be available on our Seller University YouTube channel for you to watch as well. That will cover the exact same steps. At the end, around when I'm going through the Q&A, I will be making an amazing customer survey available for you, so you can just give amazing feedback, any improvements, any feedback, any suggestions, whatever you wish to add to the for us to basically assess and review after this webinar. And very, very, very important, please do not share any personal account information or just personal information in general in this chat, as this chat, yes, the chat is moderated, but it will be viewable to us as well as potentially then the rest of the attendees, which we definitely do not want, nor do we want your information to be exposed to anyone else in this chat. So please, please, please just ask your questions. We'll provide the answer, and that will be made available to the rest of the attendees. Now, before we get started, we'll just kind of go through a few caveats just so that we can expand the available support that we can provide to our sellers. First and foremost being, how do you get help on Amazon ZA? First and foremost, we have the self-service first, meaning when you're on your Seller Central page, you can click on the help option in the top right corner of your Seller Central page, which will enable you to not only reach out to our seller support team, but also gain access to our help pages and any available resources you might have. Further to that, you can even access our Seller University page by clicking on the menu button in the top left corner of your Seller Central page, scroll to the very bottom and select Learn, which will take you to Seller University. Now, pro tip, when it comes to reaching out for support to our seller support team, always provide as much information and like identifiers as possible, specifically ASIN, your ASIN, your shipment IDs, order ID if it's specific to a customer return, or just any error messages. Please provide that to us or our seller support team so that they can provide the support as needed without needing to go back and forth with you to get that information. Further to that, we will also have, we always have webinars at least once a week on a plethora of different like topics. Today, obviously, it will be FBA. Next week, maybe listings. Who knows? How to find out what will be playing or what will be featured in that given week's webinar content. When you try signing into Seller Central, you'll have an amazing pop-up that advises what the next 3 webinars are that is upcoming. Additionally to that, when you're on Seller University, there will be an option where you can register for an upcoming webinar as well. and also with you will have access to any previously recorded webinars and also redirects to our Seller University page on YouTube. And then further to that, we do have an amazing SPN service provider network as well for you to utilize as well. So touch wood, you need some professional account manager services. You need support with prepping and labeling your FBA products, especially if you're sending products in scale. You can use one of our amazing service providers, which can also be accessed via the menu button in the top left corner. Then you'll be able to gain access to our service provider network. These are vetted providers that we have gone through. They do offer, they do have a paid rate as well. But naturally, when you engage with that service provider, they will be able to give you the specific rates that they do offer for the services they will be providing. So what next? Now, before we get started, we also want to kind of give you a nice view on, for one, why this webinar is important and why you need to get started with FBA pronto. What this means is we have amazing, hectically competitive rates, as well as discounts that are running up until March 31st, 2027. Firstly being, we have a subscription fee, which is usually around 400 Rand per month. But up until next year, March 2027, we are only charging our sellers 1 Rand per month to use Seller Central. Additionally, we have a flat 5% referral fee across all product categories and fulfillment channels. What that means is, without this benefit, your referral fees can easily range between 6 and 18%. With this rate or with this discounts and promotions we're offering, it's a flat 5%. So get started. Like, it's FBA is cheaper than ever and cheaper than it will ever be. So get started now and don't miss out. And then to add to these amazing benefits that we have, we also have free storage, free removals, and free fulfillment, aka picking and packing fees, all across the year for the duration of this year and until the end of Q1 2027, aka March 31st. And to add to that too, we have a 90% discount on all inbounding rates through our preferred couriers, being the Courier Guy, DPD Laser, and for palletized shipments, Laser Logistics, through our 2Ship partnership for also up until the end of this year. So use 2Ship, register an account with them, and make use of that amazing 90% discount. Now, I would just ask one of my amazing moderators just to share the link to the Amazon Partner Carrier Program homepage so that you can get started with that registration process with 2Ship. Just as another caveat, so during this presentation and also leading into our agenda, I will be going through not only the Send to Amazon workflow, but also some best practices to go through. And one of those best practices is that we have recently launched what we call an FBA inbound checklist, which basically is expected to be used by all our selling partners just to make sure that, one, all your FBA listings are 100% compliant, correctly listed with all the needed listing attributes, has the needed prep and labeling services done, has an itemized packing list provided in every one of your shipments. So this checklist basically will just help you check through all the requirements that we need from you to make sure that you are as close as possible to an FBA perfect, a perfect FBA inbounding experience, one might say. So as we get through the Send to Amazon process, I'll just ask one of my moderators to share that FBA inbound checklist with you all. Actually, if I could ask one of my moderators right now to just share that in the meantime, so that as we go through the presentation, you can also kind of follow along with the logic that I'm going through versus that FBA inbound checklist. So basically what we need from you is you go through this checklist with every single shipment, preferably try printing it out, go through the checklist before you even decide to create the shipment, as the topmost section will be listings. So making sure your listings are 100% accurate, 100% accurate versus what you will be sending. So not sending a yellow products versus green products that will be physically shipped to our warehouse, making sure all of them are properly labeled, making sure that if you have products that expire, that your listing information is correctly indicating that your products will expire. So stuff like that. So yes, so please go through that FBA inbound checklist, save it. If you don't have it, it is listed across all our Send to Amazon help pages. and soon to be added to our Seller University pages as well. But that is something we'll also just alert you of once it is available. So let's get through today's presentation. So if this doesn't start up immediately, this video, this is just basically an indication or animated video on how to get you started with or get you to the Seller University page. So as I mentioned, you'll click on the menu button in the top left page of your top left button in your menu button on Seller Central. You scroll to the very bottom of the drop-down options, and one of the options will be Learn. When you click on Learn, you click on Seller University, and then you'll be able to gain access to all the amazing resources we have available for our sellers to utilize. All right. So we are 11 minutes in. Let's get started with our presentation today. So I would say, just so that we can get the most value of this presentation or webinar in this case, for anyone interested, just to kind of maybe even create a shipment while we're going through this webinar, if I can beg a favor, try opening your own Seller Central account, log in, and see if you're not maybe wanting to create a test shipment with us or even create an official shipment with us. There's no risk, no obligation for you to even send out the shipment. If you want to cancel it and do it officially later, you can most definitely do so. When you are done with your shipment and you want to cancel it, there is an option that will actually say cancel at the very bottom of the Send to Amazon page. And also I'll show you where you can cancel it as well, as I will cancel my own shipment as well. But as I mentioned, if you're willing to complete the shipment with us and even get it prepared and shipped off, even better. So let's get the party started with the Send to Amazon workflow. So just a quick technical thing-a-ling. I just need to flip my screen so that you can see my own Seller Central page. So I'm just going to close off this presentation for the meantime, then start up my presentation. Just give me a quick sec while I pull this up for us. All right. Let's see what is cooking on Seller Central. All right. So let me switch back to my presentation screen. Actually, let me just close this, open this, share screen. All right. Boom, share. Okay, so by now you guys should be seeing my Seller Central page right now. So what are we seeing right now? It's a good question. We are seeing Seller Central. So this is basically the home page that you'll see on Seller Central the moment you have signed in. So to get started, there's a few things that I just want to steer your eyes towards. One, this fixed stranded inventory page. This is essentially the one-stop shop in instances where you have listing issues with your FBA stock, and then basically because there's listing issues, your FBA SKUs or listings will go down, or your stock won't be able to be sold because there's listing problems. To fix this and to avoid instances of stranded inventory, you'll just simply go straight to the fixed stranded inventory page, and then basically diagnose what the issues are, what do we need from you, and then so that you can just get your listings firstly up and running again and get your stock available for sale again. So the issues can range from a few case instances. As common cases, you can get cases of, let's say you inbounded your stock to FBA, but you decided, okay, I'm going to convert this listing back to MFN, or FBM being easy ship. What that means is you have FBA stock that's in our warehouse currently, but there's no FBA listing attributed to it, which results in the stock basically being stranded. So then cases like that, you'll immediately see the reason for this under reasons stranded. And then you can then, under this drop down right here, you'll be able to fix whatever the issue is. If you do not want to fix the issue, or if the issue is maybe a case of, which is another case, you need brand approval to approve it, you will be able to provide the needed brand approval, aka provide the needed invoice, or basically you'll be given, when you need to request that needed brand approval, we'll give you the steps that you need to follow to make your product brand approved, essentially. So that's one example. As you will see on my screen, there's another, usually a very good example of potential low pricing error, whereby just to make sure your product is compliant, or in cases of, let's say you have a product that on a from a market perspective sells for 1,000 rand. Now suddenly you're selling this product at 100 rand, which is 10% the value of the product. That is a potential low pricing error where you can just update the price, just so that we don't miss out on sales, and also a case of you're running at a loss because your product sold for suspiciously too low than it was supposed to. Now, this is also a safety guard, because we have it can happen. You're listing a product, and when you were supposed to list your product for 100 rand, you're listing it as 1 rand. Now imagine, obviously from a customer perspective, I'm going on Amazon, I see, hey, this product is selling for 1 rand. I'm going to buy that product out, So just to kind of safeguard you as a seller, we put this gate in place to avoid cases of your product selling more suspiciously lower than supposed to. So these are just a few instances where we will kind of safeguard you, move your stock to stranded for you to review, fix, and then after you fix it, you can expect the stock to be made available again within 24 hours, if not sooner. And if you do not want to fix the issue, or if you want to just get your stock returned back to you, you immediately have an option to create a removal order, where, as I mentioned a bit earlier, removal fees are waived up until March 31st, 2027. So we'll send your stock back free of charge, as if you ordered a customer order. But naturally, if you want 1,000 units of stock back, you'll get your stock back in droves, as if a customer placed a pallet's worth of stock or orders. And SRA for return is generally 7 to 14 days. All right. So let's get started with getting started with sending your stock to FBA. Now, as another instance as well for you to just look out for, always keep an eye on seller news. This is where our latest news, updates, and bulletins will be listed. Keep an eye on this, especially if there's new FBA updates that are available. Soon, there will be an update or ask from all our sellers to provide that packing lists. It is currently pending, and we're just waiting for it to go live, but this is where you'll see it. If not here, you'll see it via email. So keep an eye on your email as well for any news related to Seller Central. Now, you may be also asking, like, hey, why is Tyler's screen looking different to mine? Good question. So we have recently or working towards updating our Seller Central page. So this is currently the old experience. I want to do this presentation in kind of like the old view as well, the new view, so that for our sellers that are using the new UI, so that you can just see and create your shipments based on the new experience, which you can trigger by clicking on this new Seller Central option in the top right corner of Seller Central. We click on that, then we'll flip the script, and we will be able to see the Send to Amazon page, the new experience. So this is where you'll see the new page, the new experience that most of our selling partners will see. We are still busy dialing it up, but for the interim, you can choose to switch between the two if you want to. Now, what we're going to do today is we're going to open up a Send to Amazon process, select 3 products, and create a shipment for it together, hopefully. So we're going to click on, so instead of clicking on this menu button, clicking on products, and then clicking on manage products, where you'll be able to see your full manage, FBA process. What I want to try doing today is we're going to click on manage FBA shipments instead, so that you can just see the view of what, after you create your shipment, where you'll be able to track it, and also be able to track instances of missing stock as well. But with my account, all my stock is missing. So that's why you'll only see every single shipment, because this is like a test account that I'm using. But this is where you'll be able to see cases where your stock is ready to ship, where you need to provide a tracking ID, where you have stock that needs to where you still need to finalize the shipment. This is the page which you will use. Now, to get started and create a new shipment, I'm going to now click on Send to Amazon, so that we can just pull up a blank Send to Amazon page, so that you can just see all your FBA SKUs. Now, as a good to know, especially if you're a seller that has, let's say, if you have a few thousand units of stock you want to send into Amazon, or a few thousand SKUs and 3 units each, meaning you want to send almost 4,000 units of stock to our warehouse. Doing it one by one will become extremely inefficient. So what we have available for you is this file upload route, whereby you can download a template which will allow you to enter in all your SKUs, the quantity per SKU as well, so that you can just simply upload the completed file, and then it will automatically load not only your SKUs, but also the quantity, and indicate that they are ready to send. So it speeds things up for you quite substantially if you're sending massive shipments. But in today's presentation, I do want to take us through a more foundational view, so that when you do this upload file template route, that you can kind of appreciate how much time you can save with following this. But I would recommend playing around with the system after our presentation, because as you will see, you can delete workflows here at the bottom. You can start new, and when we reach step 3, you will have an option that says cancel shipment. So you can play around with the system. There's no direct obligation for you to actually create the shipment either, or send it off. So you can play around with the system. When you are ready, just create the shipment and then book the appointment, prepare your stock with labeling, so that you can ship it off with a carrier, preferably 2 ships carriers. So we're gonna not use this upload file template route today. We're going to click on select from list. Now we're going to click on this. Then you'll basically see every single SKU that is available and has been converted to FBA already. Now, in a case like this, right, how do you convert your listings to FBA? You'll click on, when you're on your manage your inventory page, which I showed a little bit earlier, where you will click on the menu button, click on products, and then click on manage products. You'll be able to see every product in your catalog, whereby there will be an option on your far right-hand side, 3 dots. You click on the 3 dots, as you will see very shortly now. So we'll click on products, click on manage products. Then to start the conversion process, right, you will, for example, select this drop down here, and then you can select switch to fulfilled by Amazon. Now, when you do that, if it's a product that is a dangerous good, for example, or quote unquote something that has a lithium battery in it, or any kind of battery, or product based on your product details that potentially could be like potentially harmful, like bleach, or just something that's harmful, you will be asked to provide a safety data sheet. What that means is it's basically a what we call an MSDS. It's a sheet that is prescribed or given by your manufacturers, which outlines what the ingredients are and the percentage of those ingredients in every single product or product within that, like the given product. Whereby when you say that, okay, your product is harmful, it will ask you to upload the safety data sheet. Then your product will go through a safety date, like almost like a review by a worldwide dangerous goods team, which will in turn allow you to have the product classified and have it cleared for inbounding to our warehouse. The reason we do this is purely from a safety perspective, as we don't want a case of us getting stock in the warehouse, the product leaks, harms someone in the warehouse, damages stock in the warehouse also, or even damages the customer or hurts the customer, or even the driver delivering the order to the customer. So this is purely from a safety perspective. And when you provide this information, it will allow us to properly store and manage the stock in our warehouse as well. All right. So that's that. So let's get started with sending the stock to Amazon. So as I mentioned, I'm just going to select 3 products. We're going to keep this nice and simple. So we're going to click on, I want to send in some mini Bluetooth speakers. You know, it's winter. I'm going to stay in my house. I want to listen to some music while I wash the dishes. You know what I mean? So a customer, maybe a customer would want this, especially if they're stuck at home. So I'm going to select this. We need some batteries. You know what I mean? Maybe for the TV remote while I'm at home chilling. So a customer may want batteries. So that's why I think this in winter will be a good seller. And a toothbrush, you know, we need to make sure your teeth is brushed after eating all those snacks. You know what I mean? So I'm going to select an electric toothbrush that I want to send into our warehouse. All right. So then from here, I'm like, okay, I want to maybe use a packing template. So what is a packing template? Now, if I were to follow this process as individual units, right? I will have to indicate what the units are that I'll be sending. But individual units is essentially the step that you'll select if, let's say, I'm sending 20 different products, but all 20 products is small enough where it can fit into 1 or 2 boxes. So then all I'll be doing is labeling each product, boxing them up across these 2 boxes, and then just indicating to Amazon that, okay, product A, B, C is going to box 1, D, E, F is going into box 2, H, F, G is going into the other box. So basically just advising what products is going into which box. We're providing your box content information. That's where you select individual units, right? Now, if I'm saying that, okay, it's winter, I'm assuming that these products will sell quite well, I want to use a packing template. A packing template, if I'm clicking this edit button here, or this pen icon, this will give us now a view of, okay, I'm going to send 50 units per box. This is the dimensions of each box, the box weight, and I'm also indicating what the prep category is of this product as well. So is it fragile? Is it liquids? Is it sharp? Is it adult? Is it small? Whereby we also give you a nice view of how these products must be prepped, that the barcode must be fully scannable. So this kind of also gives you a nice indication of what we expect when we get this product delivered. And the awesome part is, let's say, even if the product isn't fragile or glass, but I'm shipping, let's say, Funko Pops or something where I know a customer would probably want the product, or even a book. Let's say I'm shipping books. There's no worse experience than getting a book delivered to you as a customer and there's dog ears on the book, or the book there's scratches on it. So what do? I want to sell books to Amazon. I'm going to indicate this product is fragile or glass. Then what our warehouse staff will do is they'll immediately know that, okay, this product needs to be classified as fragile. So they will properly prep the product, ship it off to the customer, but handle it with extra care. And they'll even indicate on the customer's box that it's fragile, which is also a very cool feature, which also gives you that security that based on what you select when you ship these products to Amazon, we will follow that through up until the end of when the customer places the order and the order gets delivered to the customer. What you select here, how you prep your products, as how it's going to arrive on the customer's end, even just us pasting a label on saying fragile because you selected fragile or glass during the process. You know what I mean? So you can do that as well. Or if you already have that, I don't know, proprietary branding on your boxes, you have that product that has its own personalized box, you have it already padded in the box as well, and you don't really need Amazon to spend a bit more time in doing this, you can simply say no prep needed, right? Because it already comes in your own box, protected and all that, and you don't mind if the box gets, like, God forbid, if anything happens, like there's the product is loaded into an Amazon box, of course, but if there's maybe like a scratch on it or something like that, you don't mind that. Perfect. Then you can just say no prep needed. Then we're going to click on save, right? Then we'll just save this packing template. Now, the other products, I mean, like it's batteries and a toothbrush. I'm going to ship this in one box together because now I've indicated that I'm going to be sending one box of this Bluetooth speakers, right? So this will go in its own box. So I don't need to classify or say that, okay, this is the box content information of this product because I already gave it. I already said that there'll only be 50 units of these Bluetooth speakers in a single box. So there's one box accounted for now, right? So, and I've indicated that it's ready to send. Now we must move on to the last 2 products. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to indicate individual units right here. Electric toothbrush, I'm going to say individual units right there as well. I'm also just going to say no prep needed here because I know it will arrive okay because I'm putting it in my own overbox or protective box already. Then additionally, with the Toolcraft, I was a bit worried before, so I said, it's fragile, but in this case, I have faith in how the product is prepped by myself and how Amazon will handle it. So I'm just going to say no prep needed. So I'm going to click on save. And also, when you get the option of who preps and labels units, we do offer an option where if your product has an existing manufacturer barcode on it and you've indicated this on your listings, you can have Amazon do it for you or do the labeling for you because we have our own unique identifiers or product labels we need on every single product. We do not accept manufacturer barcodes. So we do need our own FBA labels to be pasted on every single product, irrespective of the volume of stock you're sending. Now, in a case where you do want us to do it for you, we can do it as long as you do have a manufacturer barcode on each product. However, there is a cost tied to it, and that cost can range because if you're prepping your product and you're only doing labeling, or you need Amazon to do the labeling for you, the cost can range from 5 Rand up until 18 Rand, depending on the size of the product. If, for example, you need Amazon to do the prep and labeling for your product, the cost can easily range from 8 Rand all the way up to 40 Rand. But 40 Rand is like the most biggest product that we currently support, which is currently 101 by 55 by 40 centimeters and doesn't weigh more than 22 kg. That's basically the biggest product we support in FBA. So in a case like that, biggest possible product you inbound to FBA, then the cost you can expect is $40 per product. Now, generally, I do recommend our sellers does not use this option because especially if you're operating on very low margins or you're buying your products at a 10% margin, you're going to sell it on Amazon at a 10% margin. I mean, you don't also want now an additional prep and labeling service, which I would honestly recommend you do yourself or get someone to do for you. So preferably 99.9% of the time, rather do the prep and labeling yourself and opt to say buy seller. So we're going to save this, right? Then we're going to save this. We already have individual units here. Now with the Talkcraft batteries, right, I'm just going to say I'm going to send in 10 units because I only bought 10 from my manufacturer or supplier. With the electric toothbrushes, this is a bit pricey. So for this month, I could only get 5 from my supplier. So I'm just going to say 5. All right. So we have 1 box of 50 Bluetooth speakers. We got this at the great cost from my suppliers. So I'm able to get 50 cents, 10 units of the batteries, and 5 units of the toothbrushes. Now I'm going to click on, before I pack on individual units, very important, this is where you get your product labels. So we can click on print all SKU labels, whereby you get options from 21 up until 45 up labels. So what does this mean? It's basically in simple terms, 45 up means these 45 labels can fit on a single A4 page. So if you're shipping 100 units of stock, for example, you'll have 2.5 pages of labels on each page, basically. 2.5 pages full of labels. And because there's more labels on each page, these are typically the smallest labels. The 45 ups are smallest label we offer, and is the South African standard label that we know is used across all other e-commerce channels as well. So 45 up labels is the most commonly used one, even on our end. So I'm going to select 45 ups because my batteries are quite small. So I'm going to click on print all, right? So you'll get the file in a PDF, and then you can just use your printer to print them out and paste them on each individual product. You have 2 options. You can procure 45 up label paper from like a CNA, PNA, like a stationery shop. You can buy them and then just load them into your printer, use our PDF file, and then print out the labels. Or you can simply print them out on an A4 page, standard A4 paper, cut them out, and then use the whites of the label and some sellotape to paste them on each product. Be sure to cover any manufacturer barcodes, any existing manufacturer barcodes with our label, so that's the only label our warehouse agent at the warehouse can scan. All right. So we printed all. We are ready. Let's move on to pack individual units. All right. Okay. Let's just minimize this. Okay. Let's see. I do see some questions are coming through. I do see. I love this question. I'm getting there actually. So I'll just quickly set the tone for when step 2 comes up. So I see a question. Can you please confirm how the portal chooses whether your shipment will be sent to Cape Town or Johannesburg? Is it volume, or what is the deciding factor? Now, this is an amazing question and quite a common question we do get from our sellers. So basically, we choose it's heavily factored into space. So if our warehouse is able to accommodate your shipment, we will basically assign it to whichever warehouse. Other factors also includes like the customer demand of the particular product. So if we're seeing that, okay, products within the home and kitchen lines are selling very well in Cape Town, you will more likely be allocated our Cape Town warehouse, just so that we can optimize speed. Because what happens is, if a customer places an order in Johannesburg, for example, but there isn't available stock in our Cape Town branch, what happens is we will then have to transship that unit from our Johannesburg warehouse to our Cape Town warehouse, and then ship it out from our Cape Town DC to the customer, which naturally will result in a longer lead time. So what we do is we do kind of a lot of forecasting, as well as like sales analysis, to kind of understand that, okay, we're seeing great sales velocity in specific regions. So then, and naturally, we're always trying to optimize our speed. The faster the customer can get the order, the higher your sales conversion. So capacity. So if our warehouse can accommodate your stock. 2, is there a good demand for your products in that given warehouse? And 3, it's also generally customer concentration. So it's also like, besides obviously the demand, it's also like holistically, how is the customer like how's the clicks, how's the window shoppers operating, how frequently are we seeing sales conversion in given regions? So if we're seeing that, okay, Cape Town is popping with a lot of customer views, a lot of customer sales, or sales conversion, then we'll most predominantly then start shifting your orders to Cape Town, which is also why you may randomly see that if you're shipping tons of shipments in a given month, you'll see that, okay, maybe you have a nice trend of Cape Town shipments coming through, or Cape Town allocated shipments, and then another month you'll see Johannesburg. But currently, you'll most likely see Johannesburg more, as Johannesburg has always been our largest warehouse. And mostly we have always, and which is also why we always our very first warehouse was in Johannesburg, because we do see most of our sales volumes coming from Johannesburg. So that's kind of, I hope that answered your question on that front, but I will kind of dive deep a little bit more into when we get to step 2. But yeah, thank you so much for that question. It's a very, very, very good one. All right. So we're on step 1B now, right? Whereby we are just going to ship one box of stock for these remaining 2 SKUs, as the other box of stock housing my Bluetooth speakers is already sorted out, right? So we're going to click on everything will fit into one box. Now, let's say, for example, I wanted to split this across 2 more boxes, right? And I click on multiple boxes will be needed, and I click on confirm. You will have 3 options you can choose from. 1, enter through web form, where enter through a web form is where you will, if you're shipping more than less than 10 boxes of stock, the enter through a web form will be the preferred option. If you're shipping more than 10 boxes, or if you simply just want to use Excel to indicate what products is going to which box, you can use the upload Excel file route, where you can indicate as much boxes as you need. Generally, I have seen it usually like the max that I've noticed is usually around 75 boxes. But generally you can ship, most of our sellers doesn't really ship more than 75, but I have seen shipments of easily more than 300 boxes being indicated, and the Excel file works. Now, if you want to have Amazon do it, now this is kind of like a hidden benefit of the incentives we are offering. We do have an option where Amazon manually processes box contents, whereby we do offer the service up to 500 units, as long as you select this option, whereby this is a free service we are offering, whereby if you want to have Amazon, where you just want to label your products, box them up in specific quantity of boxes, and indicate, okay, I'm going to be sending X and Y boxes into our fulfillment center, as well as what the size is. Our warehouse staff will simply just take the boxes, scan each product, and start the receiving and making your stock available for sale option. But this is only available for up to 500 units at a time per shipment. So you can use this, and this is kind of also like a hidden benefit that we are offering through FBA as well. But in our case, we're just going to ship 1 box, right? We're doing a very small shipment to replenish some of my SKUs that have gone out of stock. This box, it's going to be quite small, but hey, I'm going to say 50 by 50 by 50. Box weight, toothbrushes, I know those boxes can be around 300 grams, let's say. For 5, 1.5 kg, let's be 2.5, right? You don't have to be extremely specific with these. It can just be kind of a ballpark. If you have the specifics, even better. But all we care about, quite frankly, is labeling each product, making sure your listing information is accurate, making sure that you're sending your products, the right products versus what you indicated on the shipment, and that you're just using one of our two-ship carriers to get your stock to us as fast as possible. But labeling your products and prepping your product correctly is paramount to making sure that we can get your stock received successfully, as well as making sure your listing accuracy is spot on as well. So, so you can honestly ballpark this. And then you'll see once successful, it will say a nice green check mark and indicate the amount of boxes. If there's errors, our system will be quick to let you know. So we're going to move on to confirm and continue. So while this loads, you'll see from here, it's incredibly simple. Like step 1 and step 1B is where you need to master the send to Amazon processes, because this is where most of your time, if you're spending 30 minutes on a shipment, 20 of it, actually 25 of it will be spent in step 1 and step 1B because of how many units you need to indicate, how you're getting your labels, indicating what products are going to which box. Majority of your time is spent in step 1 and step 1B. So master that, and then you set up for success. All right, now we at the easy step. Let's start with step 2. Now, ship date is basically the date you expect to hand this over to a carrier. So let's say, for example, I'm going to have my products prepped now today. By 4 end of day, all my products are prepped and labeled, and I've also booked an appointment, or not an appointment, a shipment with 2Ship. 2Ship usually comes and collects your stock within 1 business day. So I can expect 2Ship will come and collect my stock tomorrow, aka Friday the 24th. So I'm going to click on the 24th. Now, quick caveat, 2Ship when you book a shipment through 2Ship, they do 2 things. 3 things actually. 1, they will provide you with they'll come and collect your stock off within 1 business day. They'll indicate what your discounted price is and what the original cost would have been that you would have been paying. And 3, they will provide you with a label to paste on your shipment boxes as well, so that the carrier can simply come and collect your stock. Additionally, and this is the hidden 4th step, and another benefit that we don't really advocate or speak about a lot with 2Ship is that when you use 2Ship, 2Ship handles your appointment bookings as well. So they book the appointments for you, and they also have dedicated time slots within our fulfillment centers as well. So when you book a shipment through them, they'll book the appointment for you, and they'll have preferential delivery slots for them as well, meaning that you can expect a significantly faster delivery experience when using 2Ship as well. Generally around 30% faster versus using a non-2Ship carrier. All right. Now, we have 2 options you can select. We have small parcel deliveries and less than truckload. Simple terms, less than a full truckload is when you're shipping pallets of stock. If you're shipping, let's say, for example, a small parcel, so pallets is if you're shipping pallets of stock being less than a full truckload. I'm just simply shipping boxes of stock, small boxes of stock being small parcel deliveries. Doesn't need to be small boxes, but just boxes, not palletized. So anything non-palletized will be small parcel delivery. Now, with selecting a carrier, this is where it's important. Self-ship by seller is what you will select if you are shipping your stock yourself, meaning you are loading your truck full of stock, you are loading your bakkie or your car's boot full of stock, and you are maybe in the Cape Town region, and you will conveniently allocate to the Cape Town warehouse as well. Then you will deliver it yourself, but then you will need to book your own appointment. Book your own appointment, which is at the end of the steps. We'll book your own appointment and ship. Other is where you'll use 2Ship. So if you're using 2Ship or a carrier, you will select other. Now, as you will see, I've already been allocated my fulfillment center, being Exeter 1, which is in our Kempton Park, Gauteng, or Johannesburg warehouse. We don't have an option where you can change fulfillment centers, primarily because of the facts that I mentioned a little bit earlier. We're trying to optimize speed when it comes to fulfilling your orders to customers. So if we had that option, it would mean that we are flipping your shipment to a different warehouse, which would then result in us still having to kind of on the back end reverse what we just did, meaning the shipment was expected to go to Johannesburg. We make the exception that, okay, you can deliver to our Cape Town warehouse, which will then result in us, you getting your stock to our Cape Town warehouse, but then we'll then have to transship or rebalance your stock between our Cape Town warehouse and Johannesburg warehouse, because the same factors are still present. The warehouse may not have the space. The customer demand is still in Johannesburg, so we'll still have to do the rebalancing, which will then just affect your click to delivery. So when a customer places that order, your stock won't be able to be delivered as fast as it would have been if it was originally delivered to your intended warehouse, which is why we don't allow this option for you to choose the warehouses you can deliver to. And even globally, we don't really offer this either, because it's in play. Like, we basically try to serve our sellers a bit better in cases like this, because it's just, unlike other channels or other e-commerce channels where you have to deliver to specific warehouses, we just allow you to deliver to one warehouse, and then we'll do the rebalancing and inter warehouse transfers ourselves at no additional cost to you. So we'll always just have you deliver to one warehouse, and then we'll redistribute the stock for you. All right. So we have the ship from address being Tyler James, Western Cape, ship to address. We're also seeing our kind of a summary of what's being shipped. Now we're ready to move on to step 3. All right. Okay. And I just wanted to also add, while this was loading, you currently, and I think this is also something we needed to work on a little bit better. We did send out comms to all our sellers that we have opened up our apparel categories. The challenge is that currently our warehouses doesn't, at neither of our fulfillment centers or any that will be coming soon, is supporting the sale of apparel. So currently, all apparel is only able to be sold through our EasyShip or self-ship channels, and for those and through our SellerFlix as well channels. So currently, FBA is not supported for apparel. So if you do have products within your catalog that you wish to have sent to FBA, please hold off on it and try to sell it through EasyShip instead, please. But we will send, I'm going to just check with our team, because we need to make sure that this is properly communicated to all our sellers, because we also don't want the case of you putting in that time investment, forking out the funds to have the stock shipped to our Cape Town warehouse just to be told that your stock can't be accepted. So we don't want that at all. So apparel, definitely not accepted for FBA at this time. When it is, we'll alert all our sellers via that seller news option as well that I showed you, and via email. All right. Now we're at step 3. Now, step 3 is the amazing step. This is where we're basically just confirming you're done. But this is also where we will share with you your box labels that you'll need to paste on each individual box that will be going into your shipment, or that will be going with your shipment. So if I have, how many boxes do I have? I have 2 boxes of stock, right? So I'll get 2 box labels. Make sure that you paste this box label on the side or on a flat surface within your like on a flat surface on one of your boxes, or on all your boxes, because we provide you with a box label for each box. Then you can just print them out, boom back, and then your shipment will be in a ready to ship status, ready for you now to ship it off with 2Ship, or create a shipment with 2Ship, which will be our next step. Now, very important, and please, everyone in attendance, we have recently, and we have also shared it in our seller news and in our comms, we do need all our sellers to start providing an itemized packing list in every single shipment, which is also part of that inbound checklist that one of my moderators shared a bit earlier in our chat. This itemized packing list is purely to make sure that when you ship your stock to our fulfillment center, and we stamp that documentation for you, that you and our warehouse has a signed or documented piece of information that advises that, okay, X and Y units in X and Y product in X and Y quantity of stock was delivered to our warehouse, so that, let's say, God forbid, or anything goes wrong in terms of one of your units is not received, or our warehouse is claiming that one of the units was not delivered, that you can come back and say to the warehouse, hey, I have this itemized checklist that you stamped, and it said that all my units was accounted for. What are you going to do for me? And then we can then work towards working on a reimbursement process for you in the event you shipped all your stock, but the unit was missing, or unit or 2 was missing, for example. Then you have that list for your own reference. So please, to get this packing list, you can get that by clicking on View or Edit Contents, and then clicking on Print Pack List, where you can simply click on PDF and then print it out and include it in one of your shipment boxes and mark it with an X. Our warehouse staff has been alerted to expect these lists from our sellers. So please, when you create your very first shipment, please go forth and do so. And just make sure that you're secured as well. And also, to that point, when you use our FBA inbound shipment checklist, that will also be one of the instructions on that checklist for you to follow. So please, please, please download that checklist from our chat so that we can go forth and ensure and make sure that we are reaching that very near FBA perfect inbounding experience. Now we've printed out this label, we are ready. Now to see my shipments, right, we're going to click on shipping queue. Righty, right. All right. I'm just going to duplicate this as well for our next step. Now you'll see all my shipments that are here, right? Now, before you can start with the two-ship process, you do need two identifiers, the FBA ID and a PO. Now you'll see that here it's currently blanked out because we just created the shipment. So that PO or PO ID will only become available within 30 minutes after you create your shipment. So just give it some time. When you see it appearing, then you can go forth and create your shipment through two-ship. But while you wait, when you do that PO, while you're waiting for that PO to generate, you can simply go to two-ship in the meantime, register an account with them, and then go forth and create that shipment when you see this PO has generated. Now, let me just see if we are lucky, if it has generated yet or not. If not, we'll just use the shipment directly below. All right. So to get started with two-ship, right, to get that registration going, we're just going to go to Amazon Partnered Carrier, Boombak. Okay, let's see. Amazon Partnered Carrier Program. We'll open up this help page, and you'll see that checklist that I mentioned, it's even in this help page. So you'll be able to download this FBA shipment checklist right here. We can see what it looks like as well. This is what the checklist itself looks like. So just go through this checklist. You can mark it and even provide it in one of your shipment boxes so that we know and our warehouse knows that, okay, seller, Tyler, test account, James has checked off all these boxes. Everything is up to par, up to standard, and we are 10 million% ready to ship my stock before even creating the shipment. So make sure you download this, print it out, and if you lose it, you can find it on our Amazon Partnered Carrier Program out page and a few other out pages that we updated. Now, to get started with registration, we'll click on is a register here. You can use this. So Amazon has partnered with two-ship to provide inbound shipping services from anywhere in South Africa. Sign up to two-ship by using this link. We click on this link. Okay, my browser is messing around with me. So just search this bugger right here. Why is this not working for me? Let's see. Okay, maybe because I'm accessing it through my test account, which is also different to a regular seller account. But when you click on this link, it will take you to a two-ship registration portal. You just give all your details. Once you've added all your details, you click on submit, then you'll be taken to a shipment creation page. Now, to get to that shipment creation page after, you'll just use your two-ship login details. We'll click on, then you'll just use twoship.com. Do not use this to register. Go to our help page first. Use the link in the help page to register first. Once you've registered, then you can just simply go straight to twoship.com. Now, for me, we're going to click on login. We're going to type in my username. I'm just going to type in my password. Let's see if I remember my password. Damn it, I don't remember my password. I'll just do okay. Okay, we are logging in. Okay, great success. We are in action. Yes. So from here, we're going to click on ship here at the tippy top. We're going to click on ship wizard. I won't take you through all of it, all the steps, primarily because of the fact that it will eventually then ask you to pay, which it's not payday yet, so I can't pay to get the shipment through. So we're going to go to the shipment specifically. Let's use this one. I see I was allocated X-ray 1. So on two ships portal, I'm going to select X-ray 1 right here. We're going to click on next. Right? Then I am going to input my dimensions. I remember I put in 2.5 kg for one of my boxes. Length was 50 by 50 by 50. Then let me move this a bit closer just to make it easier for myself. Then I'm going to grab these two IDs, right? Paste this one here. Grab this, cut it, paste it in the other one. And this is very case sensitive, so even additional space will result in the error. So we just do that. Now I have the PO, I have the FBA number and the PO number. Now I have two boxes, right? So I'm going to click on this plus here to add another box. Then you'll see it kind of just saved the same information. So we can just go forth from here and then click on next. All right. Now from here, yet again, this is just because this is also a 2-ship test account that I'm using, whereby what you will see as a seller, you'll see a discounted price here, and you'll see the full price here, right? So where I would be paying through DPD Laser 372 without the discount, with this discount, I would only be paying 37 Rand and 20 cents. Great, right? And same goes for this 800 Rand shipment through Courier Guy. 861 Rand, full price, only 86 Rand and 10 cents with this 90% discount. So use 2Ship as much as you can before this discount ends. And then when you're ready and you've selected the carrier, you can click on this little arrow, this little hand, green hand. Then you can select, and then you can, once you see this here, then you can click on ship. And this is where you'll be redirected to a page where you need to start paying, or start paying to pay. All right. Now, a question that you might have, right? Yeah, I'm not going to pay for this right now. Let me just close this off. Yeah, my internet's quite bad. Apologies, everyone. So, a question you might have is what carrier to use? A good question. So, we have these carriers naturally. These carriers we have worked with before. You may see that when you get customer orders that either DPD Laser or the Courier Guy may be delivering to you as well as a customer. As a seller, you kind of also have like a general idea of how these carriers operate. So I would say it's purely your preference. However, what the defining piece is, even for me, if I want to be a seller, or even just a general consumer in general, what is the defining factor for me is the price. And if I know that, okay, these carriers are reliable and I've gotten orders from them before, I maybe worked with them before when I used EasyShip, and I have a rough idea of, okay, how does DPD Laser operate against the rest, and they have a very competitive price versus the latter, fantastic. If not, or it's purely based on preference, I would say. I can say Courier Guy is the more predominantly used carrier in general, even within the South African space. So most sellers do opt for Courier Guy, but if you want to go for the cheaper route and a carrier that you know delivers even for Amazon from an outbounding perspective, you can use DPD. So that was basically the walkthrough in full, specific to the Send to Amazon process, a heavy endorsement or recommendation to use our FBA inbound checklist for all shipments, as well as a very brief 2-ship walkthrough. We have 1 minute left for Q&A, which is incredibly bad. But for anyone willing to stay with me up until 2:05, I would be greatly appreciative, so that I can just not only take you, have you open up our survey that I will open up on our screen right now, and then I can answer some questions for you live, and any questions that was answered by my moderators, just to cover super quickly. All right. So let's see. Okay, let's go. So I see a good question on compliance. So for branded beauty/skincare products sourced locally from wholesalers, what documentation does Amazon accept as proof of purchase? Are standard wholesale till receipts sufficient, or do we need commercial invoices from authorized distributors? Thank you. This is, I would say, it's not really my expertise, unfortunately, because it is more for like a listing or like a brand approval, brand authorization piece. So I would advise maybe watching one of our brand registry or listing 101 webinars like to give you a more specific answer. But from my own view and experience as well with issues such as this before, generally a wholesale till receipt could work, but it doesn't always. Sometimes, like depending on the layout of the actual till receipt, it may not be acceptable. So generally, an official invoice from a distributor is generally recommended. But I would just ask having one of my moderators just answer it and post it in our group chat for everyone else in the group to kind of view as well. Because yeah, like one of my moderators just said, generally, Amazon requires a proper commercial invoice, perfect, that is dated within the last 180 days, includes your name and address, matching your Seller Central account, includes the name and address of the manufacturer or distributor, and shows a combined purchase of at least 10 units. Boombak. The invoice should come from an authorized distributor or manufacturer and not just a generic till receipt. Okay, so I was completely wrong. But authorized distributor, fantastic. And for anyone just wanted to read that piece, just go through onto our group chat. All right. Let's see what other questions we have. Okay, I do see there's quite a common few questions specifically to where can I find the PO number? Now that's a great bloody question, eh? Because PO numbers, without the PO number, you can't really proceed in, like you can't finalize a shipment, you can't ship it off or anything. So critical question. So after we've gone through the center, damn it. Yeah, I already closed it because the shipment is done. But once you finalize the send to Amazon process, right? You can click on the manage or shipping queue option on your send to Amazon like page. So let me show you. So when you're on the send to Amazon page, okay, when it loads, then you'll have an option that says shipping queue here. Well, let me just go back to my share screen. When you go back to the send to Amazon page, you'll have an option that says shipping queue, right? When you go to shipping queue, you'll be taken here, which is your shipping queue or manage FBA shipments page. You'll get your PO. This is what your PO looks like. Your FBA reference number starts with FBA, but you'll get your PO from here. When you, after you create your shipment, the PO only becomes available or generates after 30 minutes. So after 30 minutes, you'll get your PO, and then you can proceed with creating your shipment with 2Ship, putting in your PO number, or even if you're doing self-deliveries, booking your appointment yourself, by going through the rest of the steps, which you can do by when you're on the send to Amazon page, right? And you've printed your box labels, you click on proceed to enter tracking details, and then this is where you can book your appointment. So it will give you like a ship to, you can put in your preferred appointment date, and then you can book your FC appointment yourself. And that's where you book your own appointment, then you can deliver yourself if you are, of course, allocated a warehouse near to you. All right, let's see what other questions, top 20 questions I can just answer in the next minute. Let's just check here. How can I generate SKUs for partly used 45 up sheets? We did not send that much stock per shipment. Let's see. So I know this is actually a very common question. Basically, when you do create shipments, and you print out your labels, the labels only populates on the left-hand side of every single sheet. This is something we are working on fixing, but currently the only option for you is basically to reuse fresh sheets. And then if you're using the sheets maybe in a different like e-commerce channel, maybe using the sheets there, or we have seen like if you maybe flip the sheet and use so that the unused part of the sheet is now on the left hand side, it would work, but it's also depending on your printer settings. But yeah, it is something we're working on, because it would also help us kind of imagine you only use the one half of your sheet on the left hand side. If we can change the orientation of the sheet to allow you to print on the left hand side or the right hand side, for example. But yeah, it's currently you would have to use a fresh sheet every single time. So let's see. All right. Now I see a question. We are registered with Amazon Brand Registry, but I do not see this option to check or enable this. Go to Seller Central, settings, fulfillment by Amazon, FBA product barcode preference. Okay, this is an interesting question and something that I think even some of our other sellers can find some value in. This is the funny thing is this isn't currently this because brand registry is a portal that is currently used across all our other channels where you can select this preference. On ZA, this isn't currently an option where you can select it because the FBA product barcode preference would allow you basically to indicate whether you prefer using our labels or a manufacturer barcode, which we currently do not support. And globally, we are deprecating this option. And additionally, this preference will also allow you to indicate whether you as a seller will be labeling it or if Amazon will be labeling it for you, which I also earlier recommended that preferably having you do it yourself, because I don't want the case of you having to be charged for something which you can honestly do yourself at a much lower lower rate than Amazon will be charging you. So I would recommend just doing it yourself. But yeah, I know from a brand registry perspective, this isn't an option currently supporting ZA. It is an option in other marketplaces. But the funny thing is, like in general, we do just recommend you doing your labeling yourself. So that would be an option that will, after you create your shipment once for a selected amount of SKUs, those SKUs you won't have to do again. Like you won't have to indicate that again. So once you do it once, it will be your preferred option for all future replenishments for those given SKUs. Cheers, team. So other than that, we are on time. We are 7 minutes over, so I do apologize, but I do appreciate every single one of you having stayed. The survey will stay up even after I leave, so please take your time. And always, I do appreciate all your time today. I do look forward to seeing your shipments coming through to our fulfillment centers, going to our right fulfillment centers also. And for everyone using our FBA shipment checklist for all your shipments going forward so that you can be successful in shipping your products to FBA 100% of the time. But team, thank you again. See you on the next webinar and have a lovely rest of your day and stay warm. Cheers, everybody.